welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. We got Marcus Wagner on. He's with a company called Act 2. That's ACCTTWO.com. Act 2. He's a regular on the program and love what he brings to the program. Great topics relating to software and understanding its importance. And today's topic, I think, is going to be very helpful as well. Business process as a service. And what an interesting topic, very timely. And we'll hear about software as a service, but this is kind of a spin on that. How are you today, Marcus? Good to talk to you, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. I'm great. How are you today?
Doing fantastic, and really glad to be back. Took a couple days off with the holidays, and we should have one of our segment bumper music back in the saddle again, because I have been kind of on a run and have enjoyed it. But it was really good to be back talking to great people like you. Before we get into our topic, talk a little bit. Give us a panoramic overview of Act 2.
You bet. So Act 2 is a company that provides software as a service and business process as a service in the world of finance and accounting. So our clients are typically small to medium-sized companies that need either new software and they've outgrown their existing accounting system, or they want to move to something a little bit more sophisticated, or companies that want to even go a step further and actually outsource their finance and accounting department. Instead of just buying the software and running it themselves, they want somebody to take over that whole function for them. And we work in a number of different industries. Software and technology is a big one. So we actually have clients that are software companies or tech companies. We work with a lot of professional services companies and other services, which would include things like oil field services, midstream oil and gas, et cetera. And then we also have a big not-for-profit practice where we work with everything from public charities to churches and faith-based organizations and the like.
Yep, absolutely. Let's get to this topic on hand, business process as a service.
So, Kevin, I know it's kind of a mouthful and it may be a new concept for a lot of people, but, we live in this world of a subscription economy where everybody's just subscribing to things now. It used to be we'd go to the store and we'd rent the DVD and bring it home and we'd watch it and then we'd have to take it back. And now we just subscribe to Amazon or Netflix or something like that. And so it's an on-demand kind of thing. We want the outcome. We want the ability to watch this movie, right now, immediately. Don't bother me with how it's getting to my TV screen. I don't really care about that. Well, that's what we do in the world of finance and accounting. And what we've been doing a lot of is selling software via the subscription model, where you can have your whole accounting or ERP system just online. Just go online, log in, and there it is. So you can pay your vendors, you can do your accounting, you can bill customers, you can see how you're doing from a financial standpoint. But, why not go a step further? And instead of going and buying that technology and hiring all the people in your accounting department and figuring out, how is my accounts payable process going to work? And in all the details of that, why not just subscribe to the outcome? What is the outcome that you're trying to get from your accounting department? You want your vendors paid on time. Okay, we provide that. We actually outsource the entire accounts payable function from soup to nuts. So, the invoices come in, we scan them, we process them, we enter them in the system. Our clients get to see them, approve them, and ultimately they decide when the vendors get paid. But when they make that decision, we actually cut the check or we send the wire or whatever.
And that's done through automation, entirely through automation.
It's all done 100% in the cloud.
Yeah.
And so, typically when we're talking to the CEO of the company, the CEO's job as well is to get the outcomes for the business that he or she is responsible for. When the board of directors gives the CEO a directive, they don't care exactly how he or she accomplishes it, but they just want the outcome. And so that's our pitch to the CEO as well. You want accounting done in a timely manner. You want accurate financials. You want accurate management reports. You want your customers billed in a timely manner. You want your cash managed effectively. We will give you a contract to do those services, and you don't have to worry about how the sausage is made. You just get the sausage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about how this is different from the pre-existing model.
So the traditional model is that you hire a CFO, and that's still a very needed role in a company from a strategic standpoint, right? To help raise capital, to help with mergers and acquisitions. Those are things that CFOs do very well. But CFOs get bogged down in having to be responsible for all these administrative functions. They have to hire the accounting department. They've got to deal with the turnover when somebody leaves and they have to be replaced. They're responsible a lot of times for IT, or at least the IT around the accounting department, like the accounting system. A lot of times they get saddled with being responsible for HR and payroll and the like, and they're almost turned into what I would call a chief administrative officer instead of a chief financial officer. So that's the traditional model, where they've got to worry about how the sausage is made, and all of that time they spend managing those administrative functions is time that they're not able to spend thinking strategically and helping the CEO figure out how to grow the business and move it forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, talk about the size ranges of the companies you can help.
Well, so, we work with companies anywhere from a startup, typically they need to be well-funded or anticipating very rapid growth very quickly to be a good candidate for us, all the way up to companies that are, let's say $500 million in revenue, 1,000 employees. So that's sort of the range that we work in.
Yeah, interesting. And what is your expectations as far as 2017, and what kind of year do you think you had in 2016?
Well, so 2015 was a great year. We actually made the Houston Business Journal's Fast 100.
Wow.
We were the 11th fastest growing company in Houston. So we were very excited about that, and we obviously want to continue our growth on that same trajectory in 2016 and beyond. And Kevin, what we believe is that we've really just scratched the surface in terms of the opportunity that we have. More and more companies are embracing the concept of software as a service or on-demand software. They're getting rid of their servers. They're getting rid of their, the folks, the IT people that run these servers, and they're buying those outcomes. And I really believe that a lot more companies are going to embrace the business process as a service concept as well. We've got a really big opportunity right now, which I think really highlights the value here, which is a company that is a spin-off or a carve-out of a very large company. So imagine, the largest company in the world, and they've got a division that is about a $40 million company. So, to them, it's a rounding error, and a private equity firm is going to be buying that company and spinning it out. Well, on day one, that company will have no accounting department, no software, no infrastructure, and they really need to be up and running very quickly. So instead of going out and putting, personnel requisitions in for controller, accounts payable manager, billing clerks, and the like, and then doing a software selection search to find their software, then hire a company to implement it. I mean, imagine that's going to take months to get that up and running. We're going to have them up and running within about 15 days of needing to invoice their customers, within about 30 days of having a fully functioning accounting department. And, there's going to be some pain in that transition, but probably within about 3 months, they will have a stable accounting platform that gives them the outcomes they need.
Remind the listener, you mentioned, earlier, in broad terms, the type of businesses you work with, but kind of give us the order in terms of percentage of your business in various verticals.
Yeah, sure. So I think I mentioned the not-for-profit vertical. I think we've got about 20% of our business in the church space and the not-for-profit space. We've got a lot of, it's probably a 30% of our business in the services-related fields, whether that's professional services or other services. So that could be engineers, architects, accountants, and as well as some of the blue-collar type services. And then we've got another 20% or so of our business, probably between 20 and 30%, in the software and technology space. And so then the remaining, roughly 30% or so would fall in the, miscellaneous category, where we do have quite a wide variety of industries that we work with.
Very good, very good. Final thoughts for our listeners as we wrap up 2015?
Yeah, I think, Kevin, the ideal customer for us is companies that want to grow very, very fast. And when you're trying to do that, the last thing you need is distractions or having to spend time on non-core functions. And so my advice to the listeners that, have companies that are the CEOs or CFOs or investors in companies is make sure those companies are focusing on what makes them better and what makes them money, and think about offloading all of those other non-core functions and just subscribe to or buy the outcomes that you're looking for in those areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's amazing what we can do today in terms of having a more predictable future. We're really not the victims of circumstances that we used to be, or at least we don't have to be. And thanks to a company like yours.
Absolutely. I was in Las Vegas a few months ago and was talking to somebody about the Mirage Hotel. They have carpets, of course, all over their convention halls. And all the entry points into those large facilities, the carpets get worn out. And so instead of replacing all the carpets every 3 or 4 years, they actually subscribe to a company that just keeps their carpets clean. And the carpets are these little tiles now, so that you can actually take out the pieces that are worn out and replace them. So now the Mirage Hotel is subscribing to the outcome they're looking for, which is nice-looking carpets on an ongoing basis. So there's another example of how you can get the outcomes that you want without having to worry about how it gets done.
Marcus Wagner, he's with Act 2, and he can easily be found online at ACCTTWO.com. That's ACCTTWO.com. Marcus, thanks so much.
Great to be here. Thanks, Kevin.
Happy New Year. Look forward to having you in 2016 as well.
All the best.
All right, when we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow on Twitter, and also while there, keep an eye out for our new national TV show starting January 3rd on the Biz TV network. Have a great day. Spend it here on this station.